Hello students. So far we have solved the few of the questions to find the derivatives using the limit definition, and now let's try some more questions having the radical signs, or if the functions are rational functions, then how can we determine the slope or the derivatives or the instantaneous rate of change of those functions using the limit definition. So let's suppose we have a question like uh, 1 second, give me a minute so that I can attach my writing pad with the laptop to explain you and write down the question. So yes, so if the question is f of x equals to square root of 5x. So how can we solve such kind of questions, or how can we determine the derivative of such questions? The process is very simple, that wherever we have x, without any hesitation or confusion, we have to write down in place of x the x plus h. So if the first step you understand, then it will become so easy for you to solve the questions, because you are already familiar with all the algebraic operations. So our formula of the derivatives with the limit definition is limit h approaches to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x over h, and you must remember that f of x means our question. So where is f of x plus h? This is our x plus h. So we will write here limit h approaches to 0. In place of x plus h, f of x plus h, we will write square root of and open the bracket inside the radical sign, that is 5x plus 5h, then minus our quotient, that is square root of 5x whole upon h. Now you have noticed that we have the square root functions. So whenever we have such functions, we always prefer the rationalization. And why we use the rationalization process? Because actually we want to get rid of this h. Because if we will have the h over here, we will get the indeterminate form, that is 0 by 0, which cannot be solved easily. So in order to get rid of this thing, we are trying to rationalize and try to solve the questions to get rid of this h. So what we have to do, we have to multiply and divide with the conjugate of the radicals. And what is the conjugate? That here, if you have the negative sign, you will multiply with the same terms but change the sign. Whatever you are writing up, you have to write down the same things, because in algebra we cannot, if we are multiplying with few terms, we have to divide the same terms to undo the process. So let's try. Limit h approaches to 0. You can see that the numerator, both the terms of the numerators, they are same. So we know that a plus b and a minus b is actually equals to a square minus b square. So using this formula, we will write our first term 5x plus 5h as it is and write the square. Now in the formula we have the negative sign, so definitely we will put the negative sign, and then we will write our second term, that is 5x, and put the square at the outside. Over, now the denominator has no alike terms, so just multiply them. No need to open the brackets, just keep them as it is until they are solved completely. So square and square root cancel, square and square root cancel, and write down what is left, that is limit h approaches to 0. 5x plus 5h minus 5x over h, bracket 5x plus 5h and inside the square root plus square root of 5x. Now 5x and 5x cancel. We will be left with 5h over h square root of 5x plus h plus square root of 5 of x. Now h and h are cancelled with each other. Whatever left, you just apply the limit directly. So 5 is left in the numerator, and in the denominator 5x plus, substitute 0 for the h, 0 plus square root of 5x. And we must know that whenever you have square root of x and square root of x, they are equals to 2 square root of x. Keeping this phenomena in the mind, we will get in the denominator square root of 2, 2 square root of 5x. So this is our derivative for the square root of 5x. Let's solve one more question. For example, if we have a square root of 8x minus 6, what will happen in that case? So the first thing is that we will try to find of x plus h, which means that wherever we have x in the question, that would be replaced by x plus h. So 8 stay as it is. In place of x, we will write x plus h, and then minus 6 stay as it is. Now write down in the formula limit h approaches to 0. First of all, f of x plus h. So write down what is f of x plus h. Radical of, open the bracket instantly, plus 8h minus 6. Then minus f of x, which means that the quotient, over h. Now rationalize the function. So you will multiply and divide with the conjugate of this numerator. So you will get 8x plus 8h minus 6, and here on the other side 8x minus 6, but write the positive sign outside. Same thing, you have to write it down also. Now the first term is same for both the terms. So just write the first term as it is and put the square outside. Then minus, because a square minus b square, so minus, and then write the second term 8x minus 6 as it is and put the square outside. And denominator, without any hesitation, write it down as it is. So we write h, and then the bracket we will write 8x plus 8h plus 6 and plus radical of 8x minus 6. Now remember, the square and the square root always cancelled out. So what is left? We will be left with 8x plus 8h minus 6. Now open the bracket with the negative sign. You will get negative 8x plus 6. So remember, don't forget to open the bracket, because some of the students, they do not open the bracket and that leads to the wrong answer. Now let's see what can be cancelled out in the numerator. That is 6 with the negative 6, negative 8x and positive 8x are cancelled out. So we have been left with 8h over h, and then radical of everything rewrite as it is. Now you can see that in the numerator you have the h, and similarly in the denominator you have h. So cancel out and apply the limit directly. So in the numerator 8 is left, and in the denominator you just apply the limit. So it means wherever you have h, you put the 0, and the rest of the things write down as it is. Here we have minus 6. I made a mistake over here. There is a minus side here. Okay, now I told you that whenever we have the two radical sign, we write So I don't have the place. So we write the 8 in the numerator and 2 is square root of 8x minus 6 in the denominator. Now 2 and 8 cancel out. So the answer is 4 over square root of 8x minus 6. So this is the way how we take the derivatives using the limit process if there is a radical sign in the beginning. How can we solve? Let's solve few questions where you will be given a rational function. So how can we solve if we have 1 over x? How can we find the derivative of 1 over x? The process is so simple that this is actually f of x. You have to determine f of x plus h, which means that wherever you have x, you have to replace by x plus h. And the numerator one stay as it is. Now write down the formula and replace all the things which are given to you as the data. So the first is f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So what you will do, you will write limit h approaches to 0. In place of all f of x plus h, you will write this thing, that is 1 over x plus h minus f of x, which means you will write your quotient, that is 1 over x whole upon h. Now apply your algebraic skill. How? That we make the denominators alike, which means the first, here you have x, so you have to multiply the first terms by the x in the denominator and also in the numerator. Now on the other side, here you have x plus h. So the second terms of the function you will multiply and divide with x plus h. Now since the denominators are same, so you write x times x plus h only one time. Open the bracket of the numerators. So 1 times x gives you x, negative 1 times x gives you negative x, and negative 1 times h gives you negative h whole upon h. Now x and x cancel, whole upon, this is, yes, h and h cancel. Now let's see what is left. So we also know that a over b over c, it is actually equals to a over b c. So we have minus h over x times x plus h times h, because this is your b, this is your a, this is your c. So b and c stays together. Now h cancel with this h, you have been left with minus 1 over, and similar apply the limit. So x times x plus 0, you will get negative 1 over x times x gives you x square. So this is the way how we solve our rational functions. Now let's try one more question that will help you to understand the concept and clear your doubts. 1 over x minus 8, 4 for example. So the first thing is you will find out f of x plus h, because the question is always be f of x, which means in place of x you have to replace x plus h. So you will write 1 over, in place of x you will write x plus h, then what you have to write? Negative 4. Now replace in the formula of limit to find the derivative, that is f of x plus h. So you will write this thing, 1 over x plus h minus 4 minus quotient, that is 1 over x minus 4 and whole upon h. Now make the denominators alike, which means on this side you will multiply by x minus 4 down and also on the top, and here you will multiply by x plus h minus 4 in the denominator and also in the numerator. Now And if you forget these things, remember how can we do? For example, if we have 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3, what do? You make the denominators alike. How? Let's here multiply by 3 down and also 3 up. Similarly, on this side you multiply by 2 and on the 2 on the top. So this using this algebraic concept, we are solving the same question. So here, since the denominators are alike, so we will write one time, that is x plus h minus 4 and also x minus 4. Open the brackets on the top. So 1 times x gives you x minus 1 times 4 gives you 4. Now this is actually negative 1. So multiply the negative 1 with the terms inside the bracket. So negative 1 times x, negative 1 times h, negative 1 times negative 4, positive 4. And this h over here. Now see the terms 4 and negative 4, negative x and positive x cancel. And keeping in mind that a over b over c, it is equals to a over bc, we will merge b and c together. So on the top negative h is left. Remember, this is negative h. Please do not forget this negative sign. Now b is x plus h minus 4 and x minus 4 and c is h. And you will see that h from the numerator and denominator cancelled out. Now write down what is left. So on the top, of course, negative 1 left. So we will write here negative 1 over and x plus h minus 4 times x minus 4. Now apply the limit. So replace 0 by h. So x plus 0 minus 4 times x minus 4. Now we know x minus 4 gives us x minus 4 whole square. Don't forget here negative. So this is the derivative of 1 over x minus 4, that is negative 1 over x minus 4 whole square. So I hope that you understood that how can we solve the questions if the function is rational function. Similarly, how can we determine the derivatives if the function has the square root. And if you understand, please give the thumbs up to the video, and also your comments are always welcome. So thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye.